Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB Podcast. I am your host, Chris Ngulik, alongside my co-host, Dom Savino, where we'll be discussing the week that unfortunately was. The Jets and Giants continue their respective training camps with preseason games starting this week, while the Knicks ordered Wingstop last week. The Mets rotation is in shambles, while the Yankees left their sunscreen at club space. Will either team make the playoffs? Stay tuned to hear our thoughts. Take a damn seat. Let's talk. Oh, God. So, two things I'm just going to say right off the top. We are recording on a Tuesday, not a Monday this week. Dom had family obligations. Happy belated birthday, Sue. But
Thank you.
the episode will be published later today. We're going to keep the publishing consistent as much as we can week to week. And second thing I'm going to say is you're going to want to listen to this episode till the end because the MLB portion is something else. It's not going to be pretty. I'm just want to put that out there. I don't know if you couldn't tell by the intro. Anyway, just want to put that out there first. Dom, I'm assuming you worked this past weekend, but more importantly, how was your Monday?
I did. That was good. Like you said, family obligations. Happy birthday to my mother, to the amazing woman that she is. And she's done a whole lot for me, clearly, throughout my whole life. Love her, support her to death, and everything that she does. So she deserved an amazing day.
Well, that's tremendous.
Oh,
It really is.
thanks. Appreciate it.
Again, happy belated birthday to Sue. Tremendous woman. Very nice woman. Known you guys now for 8 years? Yeah,
Yeah.
almost 8 years.
Mhm.
Me and Dom met when we were doing move-in day at University of Tampa for college. That's how we've known each other. So can't believe that's 8 years ago now. That's actually concerning, to be honest, how fast time goes.
Go.
Yeah, that's
It's nuts.
nuts. Well, anyway, we're gonna start with the NFL. Again, we're doing the MLB last because it's gonna be just an absolute doozy. NFL first, Dom, please, you go first. Giants, what I have written here is Giants had a roller coaster training camp last week. But from what I saw, Dom, and what was reported, the two names that stand out, unsurprisingly, mind you, are Malik Neighbors
Mhm.
and the guy you've been hoping to see do well, Abdul Carter.
Yep. I mean, I think it's not really a surprise that Malik or Abdul is doing nuts. You can just watch Abdul Carter's tape from Penn State. And the scary thing is, like, he was mainly a linebacker for his Penn State career. But then last year, he was mostly on the edge, pressuring. Just mostly last year. He was doing a little bit of everything throughout his whole career at Penn State. But last year was mainly just pass rushing. And it's insane that now he's probably going to be one of the best like pass rushers in the NFL pretty soon. And he only had like a full year of experience doing that. So, I mean, honestly, there's no surprise. But the two big names that I'm really thinking of right now are Evan Neal and Drew Phillips. Drew Phillips is coming into his second year. He's a defensive back, mainly cornerback in like the nickel position. And he's getting high praise from everybody, all defensive players, and especially Coach Dayball and the captain of the defense, Bobby Okereke. He's a freak athlete, tall, quick. He's locking people up in training camp, and he didn't really do too great last year. He did show some signs, but everyone keeps talking about his growth and that he can be possibly the cornerback one or two. No, probably mostly two, even though it should be Deontay Banks, but Deontay Banks is not doing good at all. But he did good in yesterday's practice. That was like the first good practice that he's had where he was blocking up defenders in practice. So I am happy about that. But then also with Evan Neal, every time that he's been going up against Abdul Carter in one-on-ones, he's been holding his own, which is insane. I mean, I guess the fact
Really?
it's crazy. He went up against him twice yesterday, and he held his own in one-on-ones. Which, I mean, like I say all the time, it's only training camp. You don't know what's going to happen in the regular season. But everything that he's been showing in this training camp as a guard, it's very promising. I'm
I will
shocked,
say one thing,
happy.
Dom, before you continue. I'll say one thing. I thought Will McDonald for the Jets had a quick spin move. I think Abdul Carter's is faster.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Oh,
this guy's I mean, it's wild how fast he gets off the offensive lineman. That's why when you said Evan Neal's holding his own, that's a little shocking to me because from what I was watching as recent as yesterday morning, I mean, he is so fast and he is so quick.
it's shocking to everyone in the whole world at the moment, especially if you're a New York Giants fan. But that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping for him to transform himself from a terrible tackle to a great guard, which has happened in the past with some players. I mean, Eric Flowers was like the worst tackle ever. And then when he went to other teams like Jacksonville and Washington, he was a not terrible, not terrible guard. He was like okay at best. And then also with Mekhi Becton last year when he went to guard with the Eagles, he he played pretty well as a guard, especially compared to what he was as a tackle. But obviously, like he did have a lot of injuries on the Jets, but he had one healthy season at guard and he did okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the Giants had, I think they had a solid training camp. They had definitely had a better, practice than the Jets this past weekend and even yesterday. I actually saw one thing before I get into those 2 days this morning. Looks like Malachi Corley is just not having a good summer. They're doing full on tackling, and it's not no surprise. I mean, if Quincy Williams can rock Derrick Henry, he's going to rock anybody. Supposedly, Quincy Williams rocked Malachi Corley this morning, and he fumbled the ball. And Connor Hughes does fantastic work with SNY. He said Malachi Corley is just not having a good summer. So that's not good because the Jets don't really have right now a solidified number 2 wide receiver. So Jets had a very bad practice on Saturday. Very bad. Not good. There are some good takeaways, but the bad ones, 12 penalties.
12.
Fix it. Fix it. They were one of the top penalty stricken teams in the NFL last year and frankly even the past few seasons. They've always had penalty issues. Supposedly, I forget which player it was. I believe it was Tony Adams, the safety. He's in the safety group for the Jets. He said, "Oh no, they told us to fix the penalties. We just didn't listen." I mean, are you kidding? You didn't listen? So what are you doing?
Clearly didn't listen.
What do you mean you didn't listen? So they had 12 penalties in practice Saturday, including a handful from the starting offense. Justin Fields went 2 for 10 passing. There was a drop by Mason Taylor. The kid's a rookie. I'd rather him get it out now. That's fine. But now to top it all off, to put the cherry on top, essentially, there's now 2 injuries to wide receivers. Xavier Gibson, who's more of a special teams, punt and kick returner type guy, gets some plays off the slot here and there. I saw it last year and even the year before. Josh Reynolds, he was a guy who throughout the start of training camp, even OTAs, mini camp, it was looking like he was going to be a number 2 wide receiver for the Jets. He got hurt. The offensive line struggled in the past game clearly. So that's a bit of a problem. And it was pretty sloppy. Even the run game couldn't really get anything going because of the offensive line. The good was Isaiah Davis looked really good. Brees Hall had some good runs. So, I know I said recently in one of the other episodes that Braylon Allen may take over. But maybe, now I did though say that it is early. It's training camp. Maybe Brees Hall figures it out. He's looking better by the day. Thank God. So that's great news. Justin Fields didn't run well, but that's not really a surprise. I need him to throw the ball well. This guy, Stone Smart, a tight end from the Chargers, was with the Chargers from 2022 to 2024. He went undrafted in the 2022 draft class, had 2 TDs. Sauce dominated in coverage, or I should say Ahmad I promised the watchers and the listeners I was just going to go by a mod, so shouldn't have written down Sauce. But he dominated in coverage, and pass rush, excuse me, was pretty consistent. So that was Saturday. Okay, Monday, passing offense struggled again. Justin Fields went 4 for 16, one drop by Garrett Wilson. Offense looked out of sync, but folks, who's your other wide receiver? Who is it? I don't. Dom, do you know who it is? Because I don't.
I clearly don't either.
I don't know. I don't know who it is. So you can complain about Garrett Wilson's drops, but he's going to get double covered starting week 1. I'm just telling you right now. Okay, Jalen Ramsey's going to be covering Garrett Wilson week 1 when the Steelers come here to New York, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a problem. Pass coverage was good. Gardner and Stevens played well. I think they're going to be good corners. I think it's going to be a good 1-2 tandem. This Stevens going to be better than DJ Reed. I don't know. We'll find out. DJ Reed did pretty damn well, the past few seasons that he was here. And then lastly, really injury updates. Xavier Gibson shoulder, wide receiver Xavier Gibson, special teams player Chris Boyd shoulder. They're out this week. Aaron Glenn said. Guard John Simpson back. That Dom is a little scary for me. And defensive tackle Quinnen Williams, a calf. They're still out for this week. And Malachi Moore, the safety that Aaron Glenn's been raving about, he's got an oblique, which at first when I saw oblique, that's a very tricky injury. We know in basketball, in baseball, oblique is a little tricky injury, but he said he may start to practice this week. So I don't know. Maybe he's out there this morning. I haven't seen anything about that, but yeah, we'll see how these injuries go, and hopefully all these guys get healthy enough to at least be ready for next week's practice or any of these preseason games. I know now, what Dom? There's only 3 preseason games. Maybe these guys play in the last one if they're healthy enough, and then hopefully they're ready for week 1. But I don't know, man. I mean, Justin Fields had some good practice days, I will say, but these recent ones weren't very good.
No.
Yeah,
He,
not good.
clearly, if you guys don't have that good of an offensive line, he's going to be running no matter what. But that's not what you signed him for, clearly. You need him to throw the ball, especially to Garrett Wilson, try and get him open, even though there's going to be double teams. But someone else has to step up, like you said. Hopefully it will be Josh Reynolds. Hopefully it will be. If I'm not mistaken, he played for the Chargers. Am I not mistaken?
No, he did not. So he played for the Rams 2017 to 2020. He was a 4th-round pick, 117th pick out of the draft, out of Texas A&M. Played for the Rams 2017 to 2020, Tennessee Titans 2021, Detroit Lions 2021 to 2023,
Lions.
Denver Broncos, and the Jaguars.
The Lions. Yeah, you're right. The Lions.
Yeah.
Think about
Yeah.
somebody else then.
No, that's okay.
Oh, Palmer. I was
But-
thinking Palmer. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I mean, listen, the unfortunate part is, I think, honestly, Dom, at this point, what I'm seeing, you see whatever you see as a Giants fan. For me, as a Jets fan, unfortunately, these bad practices essentially prove to me, and they essentially disclose to the general public, that the Jets, for essentially the first time, I would say, since 2022, they're not going to have high expectations. So they're doing a fantastic job to try to keep the expectations low with having these crappy practices. So with these practices not going so well, it is showing all Jet fans that, hey, don't get too excited, because you don't know what the heck is going to be out on the field every Sunday. So that's really all I have to say about that. Dom, do you have anything else to say regarding the Giants?
I can't stand these insiders, these reporters. They wanted to write off Jackson Dart after the first day of camp. He did look terrible, don't get me wrong, but it's day 1 as a rookie, and now he's lighting it up, having great great other days of camps, and now I'm seeing these reports. Oh, this could be a real hard decision come September. Like it's gonna be really hard for Brian Dable to make his decision. He made his decision like a week ago. What are we talking about? They named Russell Wilson the starter already. This isn't a thing. Trying to get clicks, it annoys me so much. We already know what's going to happen. We already know that Wilson's going to be out there week 1. That's not happening. Unless something god awful happens to Russell Wilson. Obviously, we hope that doesn't happen ever. But that's the only way that he's getting on the field week 1. That's not nowhere near the truth. And also, Deonte Banks, he's gonna be the main guy that we're gonna have to rely on throughout this whole season. We already have Paulson and Debo on the one side, and now we're gonna have Banks on the other. He had a great rookie year, and then he had a tremendous sophomore slump. It was so bad. Like, I don't understand how you can go from being that good to that bad, that quick. It didn't make any sense to me. He has to really step it up this year because we're going to have a great pass rush, and they're going to get throwing out the ball quick now with everyone who's going to be on the front. You got to guard. You got to lock these guys up. And also, like I said with Drew Phillips, like, he's mostly a nickel guy. We don't really want him on the outside. If anything, it'd be Cordell Flott if it's not Deonte Banks, who is a vet now, and he is good. But the problem is he's too small and he's too skinny. He can chase receivers down well, but no problem. But it's just his size is the only problem.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Dom, Ahmad Gardner didn't have the best year last year, right? He obviously didn't replicate his 2022 and 2023 seasons. It's going to happen at some point. These guys aren't robots. They're going to have some bad times and some bad games and some bad plays. But yeah, I personally, I'm not going to lie. As a Jets fan, I'm kind of excited to see what the Giants are going to be, especially their defense. And in particular, their defensive line. Because their defensive line, I mean, on paper, this has got to be top in the NFL. You're talking about Dexter Lawrence. I mean, it has to be. Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter. I mean, those are some great names. But again, as we always say every episode, we'll see how it goes. Week 1 is still a little over a month away. So we'll see what happens. Now transitioning to the NBA. So Dom got his wish. I don't know if folks remember. Me and Dom had a bit of a, I guess, how do you want to put it, Dom? I don't want to say an argument, but we had a bit of a disagreement between, the Mikal Bridges contract extension. Well, it happened. Knicks made a pit stop at Wingstop last Thursday, and they extended Mikal Bridges to a 4-year, $150 million contract with a player option for the 2029-30 season. And there's a trade kicker in there. Yes, clap it up. Fantastic. No free agency next summer for Mikal Bridges. He's locked up. He did take a bit of a discount, forfeited an extra $6 million. So that's nice. How nice of him. That's
a lot.
Just tremendous. They're putting the team first. Wow. Can't really relate to the $113 million pay cut that Jalen Brunson took, but you know what? A discount's a discount. Trying to help this Knicks, this Knicks team or this Knicks front office fortify the roster and try to win a championship. Now, with that being said, Dom, before you give your analysis on the contract extension, the Knicks now have their starting 5 of Cat, Brunson, Bridges, OG, and Hart locked up for at least the next 3 years at a whopping $726 million. But here's the thing though. Bridges, because he signed it on July 31st, it's not going to happen, but he could still get traded at the deadline in February, since it is over 6 months away from said July 31st. Just wanted to put that out there. But Dom, your thoughts on the contract extension?
Clearly, I like it. If people have been listening, clearly I like this move. Um, you know what? People can say what they want to say about his regular season last year. What matters is how good he did in the playoffs, how much he helped us beat the Celtics. He didn't do as good of a job in the Pacers series, but he still did play fairly well. When we needed him the most, we needed him. It's good we signed him now just because he's going to ask for more later next year, or it will be more no matter what. Even if he doesn't ask for it, the money's just going to go up. Good we lock up our starting five. We're all good. People just got to get over it. People got to get over how bad he did in the regular season. It's
Oh,
all,
so you mean me?
yeah,
You're
you.
talking to me.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're part of the problem. They
Okay.
need
All right.
to, you
Very
got to
good.
relax. It's over with. Fresh start, clean slate. He had to adjust to a team that he was the main guy on. He was the number one option offensively and defensively. And now he's, the third or fourth option on the team when it comes to offense now? It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not, like, I guess maybe a little bit I'm comparing the situation, but like with like Kevin Love. Kevin Love, he was the number one guy in Minnesota. He did everything. He was scoring the same amount of points a game. And then he's going on a team with Kyrie and LeBron. You got to take a step back. Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, going off in Toronto, star in Toronto. Then you're coming to this loaded team. Like,
So
this has to. That's just naturally.
hold on. I'm going to disagree with that statement. I am not going to relate Mikal Bridges to a number one scorer, Kevin Love in Minnesota. Mikal Bridges, I don't even know what he was in Brooklyn, but he certainly was a number one. He was not a number one in Phoenix.
Not in Phoenix.
So I'm not going to relate Mikal Bridges to Kevin Love when he was at his best in Minnesota. Mikal Bridges has no problem taking a backseat. I'm just going to be honest.
I'm not comparing like their numbers. I'm just comparing to like the situations at hand. You going from the number one guy from a team to being the third or fourth guy on a team.
I feel like Mikal Bridges was number one in Brooklyn because he didn't have a choice. It wasn't like he wanted it. Kevin Love wanted it in Minnesota. He got drafted by them.
Yeah, he got drafted by them, but still, it's still a whole completely different scenario when it comes to your team and your system. And plus, like I said, you're on a new system also. So you got to learn that as well. And you're trying to get all these guys the ball. Plus, with Tibbs, it's all ISO. You're not really creating anything. The most that someone was creating a shot was Mikal. He was really the only one really running around. OG standing there. Jalen Brunson going all over the place. Cat, wherever he ends up, he ends up. It's not like he's planning to be there. If he's in the paint or in the three. Mikal was really the only one who really had to create his own shot. So that's why I never really panicked when it came to last year when everyone was panicking. But now it's a whole new year, a different coach, a coach that is more creative when it comes to separation on the offense. So I'm really not concerned with Bridges at all. Last year was last year. This is a new year. It's a different team. So be it.
Okay. Now, listen, I think you make valid points. Obviously I had my disagreement on a couple of them, but I 100% agree with you though with the financials. I do think money will keep going up. I 100% agree with you on that because with these new media deals, contracts are only going to be becoming exorbitant.
Yes.
And so with that being said, I think it is smart to lock up your players when you can. Look what OKC did, right? They essentially spent the same amount of money, but for two less players on their roster. Again, the money for the starting five of the Knicks is a whopping $726 million, locked up for at least the next 3 years. And OKC did that for only three players, not five. So the Knicks definitely got a better bargain, for that. That's big part of Brunson taking the $113 million pay cut, and now supposed Bridges taking the $6 million pay cut. So it is a new slate. It's a new season. He still is on his, previous contract for one more season, and then the 4-year contract extension kicks in for the 2026-27 season. Now, that's the Knicks. Just a couple other things. The first thing, Luka Doncic signs a 3-year, $165 million maximum contract extension with the Lakers, with a player option in 2028. This now makes him eligible for a projected 5 years, $417 million in 2028. That's just, I mean, Dom just mentioned about contracts going up. I mentioned the media deals are a big reason why the contracts are becoming pretty hefty. There will be no free agency as well, just like Mikal Bridges. There will be no free agency next summer for Luka. He's locked up. He agreed to the longer term with the Lakers. Let's be real. Where else was he going? I'm not going to act like, he had other options. He's out of Dallas. He's in LA. LeBron, I don't know how long LeBron's going to play for, but he at least picked up his option for this upcoming season. After that, we'll see what he decides. If he's going to retire, if he's going to play until he's 55, I have no idea. So we'll see what he decides to do. But Dom, your thoughts on the Luka Doncic extension?
To be honest, if he didn't get traded, he would have been in Dallas for life. I'm not surprised that he just wants to stay with the team that wants him. It's still mind-boggling that he's still with the Lakers. That the Dallas, they got rid of him, but it seems like Dallas is going in the right direction with the future. I mean, I don't even want to get into this draft stuff, but crazy how they got with the number 1 pick in Cooper Flag, but now you got to wait for Kyrie to come back. You got AD, you got Gafford, you got Lively, you got Clay. It seems like a great team on paper. And with the Lakers, who'd they get? They got DeAndre Ayton, they got Marcus Smart. These teams are improving definitely from last year. So, I mean, I don't know who's going to be better. I think they're playing on Christmas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the Christmas schedule came out. It's Pistons at Knicks. They always play at 12:30, or
Yeah.
they always play the noon game. They're always the first game on Christmas. I know that the Christmas schedule came out. I just don't remember. Christmas schedule, NBA 2025. Let's see.
Rockets, Warriors, that Lakers, Mavericks, Pistons, Knicks,
Okay.
and Cavs, Celtics, and Spurs, OKC.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, yeah. I think the Christmas Day games are pretty good. The Pistons playing the Knicks once again. I'm curious to see what happens with Malik Beasley, but we'll find out soon enough. And the other thing, Dom, De'Aaron Fox signs a 4-year, $225 million maximum contract extension with the San Antonio Spurs. This secures Fox in San Antonio through the 2029-30 season. And, we had our emergency pod about Mike Brown. We talked about De'Aaron Fox complaining about, hey, I'm having too many coaching changes. I can't deal with this. If you're just going to keep on changing coaches, you might as well change the point guard and get me out of here. And he now, this isn't really a surprise. He extends with the team that he wanted to go to when he got traded. So this is a great signing for San Antonio, and this is a good future with De'Aaron Fox, with Victor Wembanyama obviously there. Now he did have an injury concern, right? I believe, Dom, it was a blood clot.
Blood clot.
Yeah, and so we'll see how that goes for him, at the start of the season. But still, great contract extension for De'Aaron Fox and a great signing for the Spurs.
They're gonna be a sneaky team. One full season with De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. You gotta hope they're both healthy, because they're gonna be a problem, especially even with all the young guys they got. They got a great rookie, one of the top picks. I think the second pick of the draft. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he's supposed to be really good coming out of, I think, Rutgers. I think he's coming out of Rutgers. And then you still got Castle. You still got Vessel or Vassal. They're gonna be nice. They can be nice, but then maybe if they were in the East, they'd be a top team. But the West, it's just loaded. Everyone's getting
That's
better in the West. That's the
yeah.
problem.
That's the
Better. You got the Nuggets.
yeah.
You still got Steph and the Warriors. Obviously, you got OKC. Timberwolves. It's gonna be nuts. Next year is gonna be a crazy year.
Yeah. And that's why, I was going to say too, right, when you were talking about the Lakers roster, they have to bulk up when you're in the Western Conference because, OKC is going to reign supreme. I don't see them falling off anytime soon. They obviously locked up their big three: Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, SGA. There's other teams. Obviously, the Nuggets will always still be in play with as long as Nikola Jokic is healthy and on the court. But there's a lot of other teams. Western Conference is a tough conference, but I agree with you. If they were in the East, San Antonio would be one of the top teams, no doubt, no question. So that's the NBA. Now let's just take a minute to breathe.
Let me go to sleep for 10 minutes so I can be really, really energized for this.
We're now going to move on to the much anticipated segment of the episode, the MLB. Dom, I'm going to let you go first because I got a lot to say about the Mets, and it is not good. And you can go first. What I have written down here, I'm literally just going to strictly read what I have written down here. Okay. Yeah, stretch it out. Get ready. Yankees go 3-4 on the week. Okay. This is obviously excluding Monday's game, which they lost. So they technically went 3-5. I guess if you want to count this past Monday, 3-5 on the week. The biggest takeaway from the week is getting swept by the Marlins. As I said in the intro, they left their sunscreen at Club Space. They were obviously out until 11 a.m. First time ever in the Marlins franchise, they sweep the Yankees. Yankees were on a 3-game winning streak after taking 3 or 4 from the Rays, heading to Miami, but they obviously crumbled. But the new scary, I was reading that Yankee fans were calling their bullpen scary. They let them down on Friday, and the Yankees did not hit on Saturday. Moreover, Luis Gil's return was not good in Game 3. Rodon didn't do well either in Game 1. Schlittler was solid, and the bullpen did bounce back in Game 2, but the Yankees couldn't score. These are actually two stats, Tom, and maybe you have it written down, but I had to put it out there because I just didn't know if you saw them or not. The Yankees are an MLB worst 5-17 on the road since June 13th,
Yep.
which has actually now gotten worse with now the losses in Miami and now last night in Texas. So really now, what are they now, I guess? I would actually have to see when that post was put out there because I bookmarked it. And then the other thing was they are 18-27. Yeah, see, this was put out there, that one that I just said right now. That was posted 4:48 p.m. on Sunday. So now make that 18-28 their last 46 games. And then the other statistic that was posted on Twitter, that was put out 6:05 p.m. on Sunday. So now make that 5-18 on the road since June 13th. Now you can go.
What did I say literally in the last podcast? Great guys that we got. We got great guys for the bullpen. You have Duvall and Bednar. Now, technically, with those two, we have 3 closers on this team. 3. And they played pretty good this year. Except for Williams, clearly. He's the roller coaster he's like King Daka. He's the worst. And then he just got crumpled down and demolished. Yesterday, against the Texas Rangers, This is what he put out there after Max Fried. Mind you, he didn't play that good at all. He gave up 4 runs, but we did get the run support. So we were up 5-4. You put Luke Weaver in the 6th. Then Duvall in the 7th. And then Bednar in the 8th. And then Devin Williams coming in for the 9th inning. What? If this was any other human being, any other one, it would be me. It'd be Chris. It'd be any other MLB coach. This is not how this rotation would be. You literally had to get him out of the closing role earlier in the year and put Weaver in. And the only reason why he's back there is because Weaver got hurt. Out of all the players, I'm putting Duvall in the 9th. Bednar in the 8th. Williams, I don't even know if I'd even play him at this point of how bad he's been. At the past 2 months, he's been decent. But then recently, he's given up 4 runs in the past 3 games. He just gave up a game-tying home run to Jock Peterson last night. But let me say that again. He gave up 4 runs in the past 3 games. And this is who you're going to put as a closer? Why? What I really should be talking about when it comes to this game yesterday, how crazy of a home run. Did you see this, Chris? Giancarlo Stanton's home run? 17-degree launch angle, rocket to center field, dead center. It was actually one of the craziest home runs I've ever seen in my life.
I don't mean to cut you off, Dom. He gave up a game-tying homer to Jock Peterson?
Jock Peterson.
He's hitting 126.
Yep.
126. He gave up a tying home run to Jock Peterson?
Yep. And we lost yesterday because Jake Bird came in after Williams, gave up a walk-off home run to Josh Jung.
Okay. Giancarlo, good. Just go back to the Stanton homer. That I had to say that is that. I had to. You saw how fast I grabbed my phone. I had to look at it. I know Peterson's having. I mean, he was going at one point. He was like what 0 for 40 to start the season. Go ahead, Stanton homer. I know. Yeah, I did not see the homer. Yeah, that sounds majestic though. That's crazy homer.
It's incredible. It's actually insane. The thing is, all right. We were going to split. We were going to split against the Rays until the rain came. We were up 6-0. We were literally up 6-0 at one point. Going into the 4th inning, it was 6-0. And then Stroman gave up 4 runs. He gave up 4 runs. But I'm so glad to say, because we were literally talking about it in the last episode. I wanted him gone. He's gone. He's freaking gone. The gods have answered me. Cashman is watching this pod. Can you believe this? I'm so excited. I'm actually really happy that he's gone. I mean, as you can tell from last episode, I wanted him sent to the sun. Thank goodness. And then as soon as he gets cut, the flexor that he is, he has to post his watch and
see that?
And his private jet that isn't his. He had to pay a lot of money for that private jet. You ain't slick, bro. You're not slick, Marcus Stroman. I hope whatever team you go on next, that they got to deal with your headache, because you are a migraine. You're not a headache. You're a migraine. So awful. I said that we would split against the Rays, but we didn't. It was about to be. August 1st happens. Did you remember you were talking to me about this? You texted me in the morning. You're like, what the hell just happened? It's honestly, it's sad. It's really sad, because we had a great day hitting, which we don't have anymore. We don't have any good days hitting anymore. What was it? I think Volpe went 3 for 4. 3 for 4. If you can't do anything in the field, you may as well hit. Everybody was hitting that game. Couldn't give up anything. Couldn't stop nobody. It was so freaking pathetic. Oh, I'm sorry. He went 4 for 5. Volpe went 4 for 5 with 3 runs and a home run. His 17th home run even though he has 16 errors. Just putting that out there. Pretty crazy stat. Trent Grisham, he went 2 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. Stan went 1 for 5 with a run. He also hit a home run. Dominguez, who went 3 for 4, which I've said he should be the leadoff guy, but he's getting moved to every freaking number order in the lineup. Doesn't make sense. Bellinger went 1 for 5. McMahon went 1 for 5. This is a great game. Rodon, he didn't play that great, but he only gave up 4 runs. He did have 5 walks though, which is really bad. But then the game ends up being 13-12. All these guys are hitting, and we can't even get a win from that. Statistically, that was probably one of our better hitting days, and we still lost. It's on. I can't fathom how, no matter what, they will find a way to lose.
Dom, I had
Hitting,
to. Dom,
defensively, rotation, Boone.
I texted any Yankee fan that I knew or could find, and I literally asked them. I said, "Can you please explain to me what is going on in the Bronx? How do you lose that game on Friday?" Like, I genuinely am asking the question. How do you lose that game? I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. You were up 9-4, or was it 9-3? Regardless, it was by a hefty margin. And then it's 10-9, then 10-10, then 12-10, and you lose 13-12. It just can't happen. It can't. Go ahead.
But it was just insane that was the first game of getting all those guys in the bullpen, and they all did awful. Bird gave up 4 runs. Bednar gave up 2 runs. Duvall gave up a run. I was like, you know what? Maybe this is meant to be. Me being superstitious, I'm like, you know what? They had to get all their junk out. Just bad garbage. Bad juju from the other teams. I'm like, all right, let's see how it goes. And then yesterday happens. Like, this, it's not on them. It's not on the bullpen at all. Well, obviously it's on Devin Williams, but it's not on these other guys that we got. Max Fried didn't do good. He played terrible, which has been rare this year. But he's going to have a bad game. He's going to have a bad game once in a while. It is what it is. Like I said, I still don't trust Boone at all. The only thing that I'm really looking forward to so far, like in this next month or so, is how Cam Schlittler is. August 2nd, he gave up 2 home runs to the same guy, and they lost 2-0. It's still a good game. He didn't get any run support. But he's literally the only person I'm excited to see is Cam Schlittler. I will be locked in every time he pitches.
Yeah.
He's a promising young talent. And this kid can throw 100. For some reason, the Yankees don't like to get guys who like to throw in the high 90s. It feels like every guy that they get can throw a minimum of 95, maximum of 95, besides Cole. But now when he's going to come back, I don't think he's going to be throwing 100 anymore. So we need someone who can throw hard.
No, he won't be. He will not be. I'll be shocked if he is. Well, are you done with the Yankees?
I could talk for another 2 hours, but I'll let you go.
No. So I'll start off with the only good thing of my whole rant here. Congrats to Edwin Diaz winning reliever of the month for the month of July. Here's a lollipop. Congrats. Here's a Pepperidge Farm cookie. That's about it. So I'm going to read game by game. I'm not going to go and because I got other things to detail. I got, please. I got a Harry Potter novel series written on my script here. Mets go 1-5 on the week. Swept by the Padres. Lose 2 of 3 from the Giants. Last Monday, Emil Jimenez, take a bow. Probably the worst umpiring performance I'd seen maybe all season, and that's saying a lot because it's been pretty bad. He was absolutely dreadful. He purposely struck out Juan Soto, and I mean purposely. Soto almost got ejected. Okay, he was fuming. Kudos to Carlos Mendoza and the management staff in the dugout to hold him back and not get him ejected. But Jimenez was as bad as you could be. According to Umpire Auditor on Twitter, umpires have missed 3,947 calls in just July. Just July. They missed 3,947 calls. So, just wanted to say that. Montas couldn't hold the 5-1 lead. Brosabon coughed it up in the fourth, but then he got sent down right after, so that's probably the only silver lining to that. Tuesday, Manaea pitched well. Jose Budo did not by giving up 5 runs that Tuesday. That was also his last outing as a Met. As I said, I expressed this past Friday at our, post-trade deadline episode, he got traded to San Francisco for Tyler Rogers. Wednesday, the Mets were lifeless against Yu Darvish. They lost 5-0. Dom, check this. Mets against Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish is now 6-1 with a 2.92 ERA, 72 strikeouts in 11 starts.
What a legend.
Safe to say they cannot beat this guy at all. Okay. Trade deadline during the Thursday off day. Thank God. Lord knows Mets fans need to see another loss. But it's okay. They showed you how to lose again on Friday. They lost in 10 innings at home against the Giants 4-3. Peterson went 6 innings once again, but it didn't matter. Ryan Stanek gave up another run. I'll be saying his name negatively again in a minute. I don't know how you lose extra inning games when you're the home team. You get the ghost runner. How in the world are you losing extra inning games when you're the home team? If the away team scores 1 or 2 runs, I'm sorry, in my eyes, you should still be winning the game or at least tying the game to push it to another extra inning. Saturday, the Mets looked like the offensive juggernaut that we expected, winning 12-6, but Kodai Senga does not look like an ace with his inconsistency. I don't think I'll be honest, Tom, I don't know if he's ever going to be an ace, so I can't really depend on him.
I gave up on him with that.
I think it's out of the question.
He'll be average.
Yeah. Sunday, they scored 12, but then they said, "Hey, listen, we'll let you have it tomorrow." They then gave up 12, and they lost 12-4. Frankie Montas, I mean, this man's cooked. He's showing his true colors and showing true concern to the Mets, as well as Ryan Stanek. Here's the other negative part about him. He gave up 5 runs in the 9th inning. So if the guy can't pitch in low leverage situations on Sunday, then he can't pitch. He can't pitch. Period. That's it. Bottom line. Okay? Here are some stats for the viewers and listeners. Since June 11th, starters have only gone 9.2 in the 6th inning. They've only gone 9.2 innings in the 6th inning as a starter, while the bullpen has gone 34.1 in the 6th inning. What does that mean? That means there's not enough length with the starters, so the bullpen has to then get worn down. I mean, it's unbelievable. I just don't understand it. Like, these guys, like, okay, Manaea, he starts topping out at 70 pitches. I understand he just came back the day before the All-Star break, and, it was obviously Clay Holmes, and then he piggybacked off Clay Holmes, and he pitched against the Royals in Kansas City. I know it hasn't been many outings, but we're seeing that once Manaea gets to 70 pitches, he starts getting worn down, right? Peterson's the only guy you can depend on going 6 innings at this point. But right now, there's only 2 starters that I can depend on. I know Manaea is going to figure it out. I know now his ERA got blown up to a 3.52 after giving up 5 runs last night. But it's only Peterson and Manaea. Senga, Holmes, and Montas, loss, and loss. That's how I see it. So not getting a starter at the trade deadline, it's obviously, apparent right now that it's really doing a lot of harm, to the Mets overall record and their rotation. Excluding last night's game, the Mets over their last 43 games are 18-25. That's fifth worst record in the MLB. 4 runs per game, that's also fifth worst in the MLB. A 5.43 ERA from starters, that's fourth worst in the MLB. And a 5.15 ERA from relievers, that's fifth worst in the MLB. Including last night's game, the Mets 1 through 4 in the lineup are 75 for 355. 75 for 355. That's a 211 batting average over the last 23 games. Dom, what the hell?
It's not even my team, and I have Ajita now.
Wow. The Mets Fab Four of Nimmo, which let's cut the name out because it ain't fabulous. Nimmo, Lindor, Soto, and Alonso over the last 23 games. Nimmo, not bad. 23 for 89, 258 batting average. Okay? Of course, this is including last night's game. Don't worry, I did the math for you folks. Lindor, 22 for 99, a 222 batting average. Soto, I mean, my lord, 16 for 84, a 190 batting average. And Alonso, 14 for 83, a 169 batting average. I do not care that he went 4 for 5 last night. They still lost the game. Thanks, Brett Beatty, for the error that you made last night. Tremendous work, pal. Frankie Montas has given up 4 earned runs or more in 4 of his last 7 starts this season. Or it's 4 of his 7 starts, however you want to put it. His ERA is now a 6.68. Additionally, Frankie Montas showed up to spring training out of shape, got injured less than a week into spring training, has looked like batting practice to opposing teams, is getting paid $17 million this year, and has a player option, not a team option, Dom, a player option, which means I'm sure he can already agree to that today, for next season for, again, $17 million. Folks, I'm going to make this as clear as it can be, okay? I put out a post on Twitter on Sunday. It's up to about 37,000 views, okay? 300 likes. Some people disagree with it. Some agree with it. That's the nature of sports. That's the nature of life. I'm going to make this very clear as to what the step-by-step procedure needs to be, and this is how I wrote it on Twitter. You have to call up Sprode and McLean. You might as well promote Jonah Tonk to AAA while you're at it. Move Clay Holmes to the bullpen. He pitches tonight. I can tell you right now it's not going to go well. DFA Frankie Montas, okay? He's supposed to pitch this Saturday. Do I think it's going to go well? God, no. I do not. Against Milwaukee. Okay? And when that happens, David Stearns, be a man, get in front of the camera, and express that move to the fans yourself, that it was a failed contract, okay? That, and I said it back in December to my brother, to other Met fans, it was going to be a failed contract. The man didn't even show up in shape. You know, I was always told when I was a kid at soccer tryouts in high school, you come to tryouts in shape, not to get in shape. Frankie Montas came to spring training to get in shape. So when he falters again on Saturday, which, mind you, Dom, they're looking to put an opener in front of him, which in translation means get ready to be in the bullpen.
Yeah.
When he doesn't do well, I want David Stearns to get his butt in front of the camera, be a man, not a child, and tell the Mets fans, I messed up with this contract. Because I'll give Billy Epler credit. When they traded for Darren Ruff in 2022 at the trade deadline, and he didn't do well, Billy Epler got in front of the camera, and he told the Met fans, this was a trade that I messed up on, and it didn't work out. So kudos to him. I actually gained a lot of respect for Billy Epler that day when he did that. David Stearns needs to do the same. And lastly, do me a favor, DFA Ryan Stanek. Get rid of him.
Clearly.
He is dreadful. Couldn't even pitch in a low-leverage situation this past Sunday. He now has a 5.03 ERA. It's time to shake it up. Okay, we're going to have, when we end this episode in a bit, we're going to do, our last segment is, will either team make the playoffs? And me and Dom will give our respective answers. With all this being said, David Stern's grade for the trade deadline is getting lower and lower by the day. Not by the week, by the day. You needed a starting pitcher at the deadline, and you didn't do it. Me and Dom, for both of our teams, wanted Joe Ryan. I put out a nice package out there, set it on the episode, put it on as a reel on Instagram. I wanted a starting pitcher. Joe Ryan would have been great. Okay. You know, it's interesting, right? With the call up of these kids, I forget which account it was on Twitter, but somebody told me that they may not call up Sproat and McLean until August 15th or 16th. So it doesn't affect their service date and they get an extra year of team control. You know what? You want to do that? Go ahead. But I can tell you right now, you're just going to keep on slipping out of the division and, frankly, out of the wild card race. So you just won't make the playoffs. And guess what? If you lose the year of team control and they perform well, you could just, I don't know. I mean, crazy, right? Crazy thought. You just extend them early and you pay them and you give them a contract. I don't know. I'm not, a rocket scientist. I'm not brilliant. Okay. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not, one of these billionaires in America, but you could extend him early if he performs well, if you lose a year of team control. The clock is ticking and you're running out of time. I'm here to say we do not have time, okay, to wait for August 15th or 16th. Okay, you can extend them if they do well. But Dom, instead of calling these kids up, you know what they did the other day?
What they do?
They called up Dom Hamill. Dom, do you know what Dom Hamill's ERA is in AAA this year?
I've been good.
You want to guess?
I've been good at these guesses. 7.
No, still not good. It's a 4.73 ERA.
I was way off.
A 4.73. I mean, who cares? It's still not good.
Yeah, still not good.
Okay, still not good. 22 games in AAA, a 4.73 ERA. He was a third-round pick in the 2021 draft. So they called him up, okay? They're trying to stall and not tell people we're not calling him up until August 15th, 16th. They're trying to not just tell the people blatantly, this is what we're doing. They're trying to make up any other reason to not call up these young kids to save the extra year of team control. Do I get it? Yes and no. But you're running out of time. Okay? Montas will pitch Saturday. I already said that. Okay, they'll have an opener. Translation, get ready to be in the bullpen, Frank. That's probably going to be happening soon. I know other fans want Carson Bench called up. He's raking in Double-A right now, a 323 batting average, 968 OPS, 12 homers, 57 RBIs. Has 5 homers in his last 6 games. But I don't see this front office fast-tracking players. Now, they did it for Michael Conforto 10 years ago. But the thing is, somebody did say to me recently that playing in college should honestly fast-track you a bit in the minors, which I agree. Michael Conforto, I believe he played his baseball in Oregon, at the University of Oregon. And I forget where Carson Bench came from. But regardless, okay, he's not going to get fast-tracked in the minor leagues. I just don't see this front office doing that. I just don't see it. So that's essentially where that's at. Okay, that was a bit of a rant. The Mets look like hot garbage. I've said that word before, and I'll say it again. And frankly, both New York teams look like hot garbage. But if you're really going to be a president of baseball ops or even a GM, whichever title you want to take, if you're David Stearns, you cannot sit here and tell me, we're just going to try to really, prove out the contract. He was injured. He hasn't pitched that much. We're already giving him $17 million. You made the choice. This was your choice. We knew it was going to blow up in your face. I would have rather had Jack Flaherty. Is he having an amazing season? No, but he's better than Frankie Montas. If you're going to give him $17 million per year and even make the second year a player option, You might as well have just signed Jack Flaherty. Okay? It's unbelievable to me what this guy is doing. And you didn't get a starting pitcher. Now you're seeing what the problem is. So you want a prospect hug, and you want to hug all this gluttony of young infield talent. But at some point, you got to give up to get something. We said it on Friday. That's it. I'm done. Last segment before we close. Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm just sick and tired of this crap. It's unbelievable. Figure it out. Do something. I know you do have to depend on your big names to hit. I get it. As David Stearns, you can't control that, but you can control the deadline. And your grade is getting lower by every game the Mets play. Now I'm done. Last segment.
Wow.
Dom, go first. Will the Yankees make the playoffs?
No, and I actually hope they don't. Like I said, they have the same exact traits as last year's team, but somehow they're worse. Like twice as bad. Now we're in third place in the division. We're 5.5 games back. And we still got to play. Oh my God, this is going to be so great. We got to play the Rangers. And after that, we have to play the Astros, who gotten a million times better since this trade deadline. They went shopping. Correa's back hitting bombs like he was in Houston yesterday. So then the Twins, I mean, they're not good, but the Yankees are probably even worse now. So that, then the Cardinals and the Rays. Then we got to play 4 games against the Red Sox. Realistically, if this was a average baseball team, we should like dominate like all of August. You got the Rangers, then the Astros, Twins, Cardinals, Rays, Red Sox, Nationals, then the White Sox. I don't know what the hell our record's going to be. Aaron Judge is supposed to come back tonight. I'm not excited at all. Who else? Austin Wells. You're done. Ben Rice, start catching, bro. Start catching. We need him in the lineup. Wells is horrible batting. He's a good catcher. That doesn't mean anything. Look at Gary Sanchez. Look at Gary Sanchez. Look how that happened for us. Wells, you gotta go, bro. I'm sorry. Cool guy, nice dude. I don't care. You gotta go. Ben Rice, we need you behind the plate. We need Paul Goldschmidt in the lineup every day. For a DH, we need Giancarlo Stanton as a DH. Judge, I don't even know if he's 100% healthy. He might be having to rush back because of how bad we are. It sort of seems like it, that he's rushing back. Because if we had a good team, he'd be out for the full 15 days or even longer. Maybe do a rehab assignment. He has no time. We have no time for that. That's how bad we are. That we got to rush Aaron Judge back, our star, and he might get injured again because he's coming back early. Clearly don't want that happening, but it is a possibility. So, they are not making the playoffs. I give up. Aaron Boone is our manager. If this was anybody else, I'd be like, you know what? We still have a chance. With Aaron Boone, I have no faith, no nothing. I don't have 0% faith. I have negative 100% faith in this team and in this manager. It's done. It's a wrap. I don't even want to talk about baseball for the rest of the podcast and the season, but unfortunately we have to, and it is what it is. I'll live with it. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, it's a no. So listen, you know, we say this constantly on the podcast. I've said it almost every episode, close to it. It's all about the eye test. I mean, unless you weren't focused on what I was saying just now, did you hear the stats I said about how the Mets have been playing the last 20, 25 games? They're not good.
Bad.
And yeah, pretty bad. And they've been losing. So why in the world would I sit here and be an unrealistic Mets fan? Folks, from what I see right now and where the rotation's at and what the top guys in the lineup have been doing and how they've even been playing defensively, this isn't a playoff team. How's this a playoff team? Right now, they're now a game and a half behind the Phillies in the division. And just like the Yankees, they're only a half a game in front of the San Diego Padres for the last wild card spot. Or actually, I'm sorry, they're one game ahead. What did he frickin' do? Whatever. And then the Reds are 3 games behind the Padres. The Yankees are actually tied for the last wild card with Seattle. And they're only a game and a half in front of Texas. Do you realize, Dom, that could all be swapped around by the end of the day Wednesday going into Thursday? That could easily be swapped around if the Yankees get swept. And if the Yankees get swept in Texas, Aaron Boone needs to be fired. There is no other option.
Fired years ago.
I know.
Years ago.
I know. But to stay on the Mets, okay, I don't see them making the playoffs. Here's the thing, folks. They have 2 more games against the Guardians. Then they have the Brewers in Milwaukee this weekend. Then they have the Braves coming here. You got to at least win 2 out of 3. Then you got Seattle. I don't see them winning that series. Seattle pitching is too good. And you got Kyle Raleigh, who's trying to chase Aaron Judge's home run record in a season. Okay. You got the Nationals. They're usually a tough out against the Mets. Then you have the Braves in Atlanta. Mets don't play well in Atlanta. We remember what happened in June. Okay. Then you got the Phillies coming here the end of August, 25th to the 27th. Then you got the Red Hot Marlins coming here for 4 games, August 28th to the 31st. And then September is an absolute gauntlet. They start off September 1st playing the Detroit Tigers in Detroit. Then they play the Reds, who are right behind them, only 4 games back. It sounds like a lot. Trust me, it's not. Then they go to Philadelphia, September 8th to the 10th. No, I'm sorry, September 8th to the 11th. It's a 4-game series in Philly. Then Texas comes here. Then the Padres come here, who just swept them last week. Then you got the Nationals, as I just said, a tough out. Then the Cubs. Then the Red Hot Marlins to end the season. You're going to tell me, based on what I'm seeing, this is a playoff team? Wake up.
Not you. New York.
It's not. It's not.
Bad.
This is not a playoff team. For the love of God, can we fast forward to the football and basketball season?
I cannot wait.
Because I can't watch this.
Cannot wait till.
And I barely watched the game last night. I was sitting with my cousin writing the speech for my brother's wedding. And my uncle has got the phone. He's got the game on the phone. He's watching it, telling me what's going on. Yeah, they came back from 5-0 down. A loss is a loss. Nobody cares. When a month goes by and you go back to the August 4th game, Monday night, what are you going to see? Mets lost 7-6 in 10 innings to who the heck did they play last night? I'm so fumed. I'm so annoyed. Who the hell did they play? Cleveland Guardians. I mean, I don't care that Alonso hit a 3-run homer to now be 1 home run shy of tying Darryl Strawberry. What the hell do I care? They're losing. No, they're not making the playoffs. I don't see it. Not until they start turning something around. This is a very important end of the month of August, because when September 1st rolls around, mark my words, it's very possible their season could be in the dumpster. It's very possible.
It is possible, but you guys have a better scenario than we do.
I hate to say it. I don't want to put pressure on these kids, but these young pitchers in the minors, they will have no choice but to save this season. They will have to be saviors, especially regarding the rotation. and where it's at right now. Dom, do you have anything to say before I conclude this episode?
I hate to be like, I don't know if everyone thinks like, oh, like I'm too emotional when I talk about the Yankees. It's not even me being emotional. Like, this is just what I'm seeing. And like, these patterns are just so real from last year. Like, last year, we just had Aaron Judge, going crazy, which he still is this year. But now he got hurt. And now we're in this predicament of being 5.5 games out. And these rotations, hitting and pitching, are now terrible. We all knew like he couldn't do a lineup for his whole life with this guy, Aaron Boone. It's a different lineup every single day. And I've been talking about consistency for this whole time that we've had this podcast when it comes to this Yankees lineup, and he's not going to do it. He's not going to change anytime soon. And now we have these 3 closers that we have on this team. Now he has to do a rotation with them, and he already blew it yesterday. You're putting Devin Williams in as a closer when he's the worst closer out of all of them that we have. That's who you put in to save the game. Of course he's going to blow the lead. He's been a roller coaster. He's been King Daka. That's how bad he is. I have no faith in this team. I have no faith in Aaron Boone. I don't think I'm going to have faith in any of these Yankee teams until Aaron Boone is out of here. He needs to go. Cashman, he might have to go too. Even though that he did a good job in the trade deadline, but he's not even firing Aaron Boone. They must be really close or something.
That's it right there. That's it. That is it right there. For the people, I'll include myself in this, who are confused if Brian Cashman should be let go, forget about he's been here for 27 years. You could say, well, he's been making good trades. Who fires the manager? The GM. And if you're not doing that, guess what? You can pack up right next to him and you can get the hell out.
Gotta go.
I agree. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to today's episode of the FTB Podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our shows. See you folks on Monday. Peace out.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.